August 16th, 1977, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. The king of rock and roll makes a phone call at 2:30 in the morning. His voice is slurred, his breathing labored. He speaks to his road manager, Joe Esposito, for 17 minutes. The words he says are haunting, prophetic, desperate. The conversation is recorded, and for 46 years it was kept hidden from the world. What Elvis said that night wasn't just a goodbye. It was a confession, a man staring directly into the face of his own death, and he knew it was coming. He knew the tape exists. The words are real. And what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about the final hours of Elvis Presley. Here is the story. It's the summer of 1977, and Memphis is suffocating under a heat wave that refuses to break. Inside Graceland, the air conditioning hums constantly, but it can't cool the tension that hangs in every hallway. The house feels darker than usual. The lights are dimmed, the curtains drawn. Elvis Presley, 42 years old, moves through his own mansion like a ghost haunting his former life. He weighs over 250 pounds. His face is bloated beyond recognition. His eyes, once electric blue and full of mischief, are now ringed with exhaustion and prescription drugs. He shuffles when he walks. His hands shake. His speech slurs even when he's trying to sound coherent. This is not the Elvis the world remembers. This is not the hip-swiveling rebel who changed music forever. This is not the movie star with the $1,000,000 smile. This is a man in the final stages of collapse, and everyone around him knows it. They just don't know how to stop it. His inner circle, the so-called Memphis Mafia, watch him like pallbearers waiting for the funeral. They see the pills, the erratic behavior, the paranoia. They see him eating cheeseburgers at 3 in the morning and then refusing to eat for 2 days straight. They see him reading spiritual books obsessively, searching for answers he'll never find. He's scheduled to start a tour in less than 24 hours, 17 cities, 31 shows. His manager, Colonel Tom Parker, has already sold the tickets. The contracts are signed. The money is counted. But everyone who looks at Elvis knows the truth. He's not going to make it. Dr. George Nichopoulos, known as Dr. Nick, is at Graceland constantly now. He's prescribed Elvis over 10,000 doses of amphetamines, barbiturates, and painkillers in the last 8 months alone. He tells himself he's helping. He tells himself he's managing the pain. But deep down, he knows what he's doing. He's keeping a dying man on his feet just long enough to perform, just long enough to make money for everyone who depends on him. Elvis feels it too. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. Despite the fog of medication, despite the exhaustion that makes every breath feel like lifting a mountain, he knows. He looks in the mirror and sees a stranger. He reads the tabloids that call him fat, washed up, a tragedy. He hears the whispers from his own band members who say he forgot the lyrics on stage, who say he rambled incoherently between songs. And in the quiet moments alone in his bedroom upstairs at Graceland, Elvis Presley does something he's done his entire life. He picks up the phone. He calls the people he trusts, the people who remember who he used to be. And on this particular night, August 16th, 1977, at 2:30 in the morning, he calls Joe Esposito, his road manager, his friend, one of the few men who's been there since the beginning, and Elvis starts talking. The days leading up to that final phone call are a study in slow-motion collapse. Elvis hasn't slept in 72 hours. Not real sleep, just medicated unconsciousness that leaves him more exhausted than rested. He spends his nights awake, pacing the halls of Graceland, talking to himself, reading the Bible, flipping through spiritual texts about life after death. He's obsessed with it now. Death. What comes after? Whether he'll be judged. Whether he'll be forgiven. His girlfriend, Ginger Alden, tries to comfort him, but she's 20 years old and completely out of her depth. She watches him take handfuls of pills and doesn't know what to say. She listens to him talk about seeing his dead mother's ghost in the hallway and doesn't know if he's serious or hallucinating. Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie, is only 9 years old, but even she senses something is wrong. She visits Graceland that summer and notices her father isn't himself. He hugs her too tight. He tells her he loves her too many times. He watches her play with a sadness in his eyes that she won't understand until decades later. On August 15th, the day before his death, Elvis has a dentist appointment at 10:30 p.m. at night. Because that's when Elvis does everything now. He lives nocturnally, avoiding the sun, avoiding the world, avoiding himself. The dentist, Dr. Lester Hoffman, fills 2 cavities. Elvis sits in the chair, his mouth open, his eyes staring at the ceiling. He doesn't flinch, doesn't complain. He's so full of codeine and Demerol that he doesn't feel anything anymore. After the appointment, he returns to Graceland. He tries to sleep but can't. He takes more pills. He calls his cousin, Billy Smith, and talks for an hour about nothing, just filling the silence. Just hearing another human voice. Then he plays racquetball. At 2:00 in the morning, Elvis goes to the racquetball court behind Graceland and plays with his cousin and a few friends. He's drenched in sweat within minutes. His heart is pounding. His chest hurts, but he keeps playing, hitting the ball a day, chasing it. Moving, because if he stops moving, he'll have to face the silence, and the silence is where the truth lives. After the game, he sits at the piano in the racquetball building. He's wearing a sweat-soaked tracksuit. His hair is wet. His face is red. And he starts playing a Blue Eyes, crying in the rain. His voice, even now, even broken and exhausted, is still beautiful, still haunting. The people around him stop and listen. Some of them have tears in their eyes because they know they're witnessing something. A goodbye. A final performance. When he finishes, Elvis stands up. He looks at his friends, and he says something that nobody forgets. "I'm going to be just fine." But his eyes say the opposite. Then he goes inside. He takes Ginger to bed around 4 a.m., but he still can't sleep. He tells her he's going to the bathroom to read. He takes a book, The Scientific Search for the Face of Jesus, and he walks into the bathroom. It's the last time anyone sees him alive. But before that moment, at 2:30 a.m., before the racquetball, before the piano, Elvis makes that phone call to Joe Esposito, and that's where the real story is. Quick question, have you ever had a secret that was eating you alive? A truth you carried alone because you knew speaking it out loud would make it real? Let us know in the comments, because that's exactly what Elvis was living with in those final days. Joe Esposito is asleep in his hotel room in Portland, Maine. He's there preparing for the tour that's supposed to start tomorrow. The crew is setting up. The buses are ready. The stage is being built. Everyone is waiting for Elvis to arrive. Except Joe knows deep in his gut that Elvis isn't coming on. The phone rings at 2:30 a.m. Joe wakes up groggy, confused. He answers, "Joe, it's me." Elvis's voice is thick, slurred, but unmistakable. "Elvis, what's wrong? Why are you calling this late?" "I needed to talk to you." Joe sits up in bed. He's heard Elvis like this before. High, emotional, spiraling, but this feels different. There's a weight in his voice that Joe has never heard. "Are you okay, man?" "You sound—" "I'm not coming, Joe." Silence. Joe feels his stomach drop. "What do you mean you're not coming?" "The tour starts tomorrow. Everything's ready." I know it is. But I can't do it anymore." "Elvis, listen to me. We can postpone. We can push it back a week, 2 weeks, whatever you need. It's not about time, Joe." Or silence. Joe can hear Elvis breathing on the other end. Heavy, labored. "Then what is it about?" Elvis takes a long pause. When he speaks again, his voice cracks. "I'm dying, Joe." Joe closes his eyes. He wants to argue. He wants to tell Elvis he's being dramatic, that he's just tired, that he needs to rest, but he can't. Because he knows it's true. "Don't say that, man. Don't say that, man. Don't say that. I can feel it. I can feel it in my chest, in my bones. I'm not going to make it much longer. I'll then get help, real help. Check into a hospital, detox, whatever it takes. It's too late for that." Elvis's voice is calm now, resigned, like a man who's made peace with his fate. "I just wanted to call you, to thank you. Thank you for everything, for being there, for being my friend. You were always my friend, Joe, even when I didn't deserve it." Joe's throat tightens. He doesn't know what to say. He's known Elvis for 20 years, been through the highs, the lows, the chaos, the brilliance. And now he's listening to him say goodbye. "You're going to be fine, Elvis. You always are. You're the king. You always come back." Elvis laughs, a soft, sad laugh. "The king. Yeah, that's what they call me. But kings die too, Joe. They always do. And nobody remembers how lonely they were." "Will Elvis, you to do something for me?" "You think? When this is over, when I'm gone, don't let them make me into a joke. Don't let them remember me as some fat, drugged-up has-been who couldn't get off the couch. Tell them I tried. Tell them I loved them. Tell them I gave everything I had. Ah. Joe is crying now. He doesn't care. I will. I promise. Thank you. Another long pause. Joe can hear Elvis breathing. He wonders if this is the last time he'll ever hear that sound. I gotta go, Joe. Ginger's waiting. Elvis, I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you too, brother. The line goes dead. Joe sits in the dark hotel room, holding the phone, staring at nothing. He knows what he just heard. A man saying goodbye. A man preparing to die. And there's nothing he can do to stop it. The conversation lasts 17 minutes. Joe records it on a tape machine he keeps for work notes. Oh, he doesn't plan to. It just happens. And for 46 years, he keeps that tape locked away. He can't listen to it, can't share it, because every time he thinks about it, he hears Elvis's voice saying those words, "I'm dying, Joe." And 14 hours later, Elvis Presley is found dead on the bathroom floor of Graceland. The world reacts to Elvis's death with shock, grief, and disbelief. President Jimmy Carter issues a statement. Frank Sinatra calls him a legend. Fans gather outside Graceland by the thousands, sobbing, holding vigils, refusing to accept that the king is gone. The official cause of death is listed as a heart attack, cardiac arrhythmia. The Presley family and the estate insist it was natural, unavoidable, a tragic loss. But the people who were there know the truth. The autopsy reveals 14 different drugs in Elvis's system. Codeine, morphine, Valium, Quaaludes. The list goes on. Dr. Nick is eventually charged with overprescribing, though he's acquitted. The Memphis Mafia scatters. Some write books. Some stay silent. And Joe Esposito locks that tape away. For years, rumors swirl. People claim Elvis faked his death, that he's living on an island somewhere, that he's in witness protection. The tabloids run wild with conspiracies, but the people who loved him know better. They know he died exactly the way he said he would. Alone, exhausted, overworked, and ignored by the people who were supposed to protect him. In 2003, Joe Esposito finally speaks about the phone call. He's older now, tired. He's watched the Elvis legacy get twisted and repackaged and sold a million different ways. And he decides it's time to tell the truth. He doesn't release the tape. Not fully, but he talks about it in interviews. He describes the conversation, the tone, the resignation in Elvis's voice, and people finally start to understand. Elvis knew. He knew he was dying. He knew the pills were killing him. He knew the schedule was impossible. And he kept going anyway. Because that's what everyone wanted. The fans, the Colonel, the record label. They wanted Elvis to perform, to smile, to sing, to be the king, even if it killed him. And it did. In 2023, a portion of the tape is finally leaked online. It's grainy, hard to hear, but Elvis's voice is unmistakable. And the words are exactly what Joe described. "I'm dying, Joe." The world hears it and realizes something horrifying. Elvis didn't die suddenly. He didn't collapse without warning. He told people. He asked for help. And nobody listened because the machine was too big, the money too important. And one man's life, even the king's, didn't matter as much as the empire built on his name. Elvis Presley gave the world everything. His voice, his energy, his soul. He took gospel and blues and country and rock and roll and fused them into something that changed music forever. He broke barriers. He challenged norms. He made people feel alive. And in return, the world consumed him. He took his time, his health, his privacy, his peace. They demanded more, always more. One more show, one more album, one more smile for the camera, until there was nothing left to give. That phone call to Joe Esposito wasn't a cry for help. It was a farewell. A man accepting his fate and trying to make peace with the people he loved before the end. And the tragedy is that it didn't have to end that way. If someone had listened. If someone had said no to the Colonel. Cool. If someone had put Elvis's health above the bottom line, maybe he'd still be here. Maybe he would have gotten clean. Maybe he would have lived to see his grandchildren. Maybe he would have had the chance to age gracefully and reclaim his legacy on his own terms. But that's not what happened. Instead, Elvis Presley died at 42 years old on the bathroom floor alone with a book in his hand and 14 drugs in his system. And the saddest part, he saw it coming. He told Joe, he probably told others too, but nobody wanted to hear it. Because acknowledging that Elvis was dying meant acknowledging that the party was over, and nobody wanted the party to end. So here's the question. If you knew someone you loved was destroying themselves and they told you they were dying, would you listen? Or would you look the other way because the truth was too painful? Think about that. Elvis Presley wasn't just a singer. He was a son, a father, a friend, a human being who deserved better than what he got. And unfortunately, they don't make men like Elvis Presley anymore.